Hello everyone, my name is David, and today we're going to work on the Gravely 812. Today I'm going to modify my existing hubs on the front of this 812 I'm working on here, and I'm going to upgrade my front hubs instead of standard. I think it's an ugly centered bearing, single shaft front hub. It's small. I don't really like them at all. They're ugly as heck. So I'm going to upgrade to a 5-bolt. Then I can put any kind of hub on it I want on any size tire, which may be a little bit silly, but I want to have a different option in different hubs. So what I've done is, this particular hub is the 4.5 center bolt pattern for standard hubs, and I got this at Agriculture Place for $13. So I got one for both sides. Now this particular kit, I've gotten the 1-inch wheel bearing set with it instead of either the 1 1/16 or 1 3/8 or 1 1/4. I got a 1-inch pack wheel bearing kit with the 2 bearings you see here, and also got a dust cover, and I have a seal which is not in this photo. Also, I went to Lowe's and I picked up the 3/4 by 1 inch by 1 inch spacers that you see here in the bag, and I picked up the 3/4 by, yeah, it's a 2-inch. Can't really read, it's a little blurry, sorry. So these particular spacers are going to take up the free space on the shaft. So if you get the 3/4 inch bearing, or I'm sorry, the 1-inch bearing kit, you take these spacers out and it fits right in. Press fit, little ball peen hammer, it fits right in, real tight. So this is going to ride on the shaft. That'll take up the slack of the 1-inch to 3/4 shaft difference. So the only thing you have to do to modify it is you take the existing bracket that's welded to here, which is a weldment which carries the load of the weight of the shaft, and I've cut this off and got rid of the piece, and I'll weld a new piece on here for strength on the back half here, so you have all of the thread on the hub to put the correct nut on it. So what I've done is, since this is going to be the rear, you have to have a spacer on the rear so that way the bearing won't go too far over, because it will slide with pressure. So at Lowe's, just to get a generic 3/4 inch inside diameter washer, install it inside the washer to it, put the bearing on the bearing cup and the tapered bearing, fits right on smooth. So grabbing the hub and install the hub, nothing simple, but it's harder with one hand, and put the long 2-inch bearing on the bearing cup and assemble it just like any other car, and you put your outer bearing, or your outer washer and nuts, outer bearing nut washer from the kit. And this particular washer is the same one that came off the original bearing hub, so we'll reuse the same washer here, and of course the same nut. Now that we have the back already done on the other video, now I see the threads distance. Now you have extra length of threads, so you can completely utilize this locking nut the way it's supposed to be, and also put the dust cap over it so it will be covered. So that's it. Now I have to check the spacing in the back of it, and right now 1 washer is not enough, so I'll add 1 more washer to it and double check the clearance, and you can see how much free play I got now, so I have room for a washer, and I'll break other pieces out and fix that with it, and that'll be it. Alright, thanks. So getting back to the brake upgrade, you can see the shaft I added from, this is the original piece that was on the front right here. If you look at the back where it was welded before, I know my welds are horrible, I haven't welded for a while, I need to practice. If you cut this tack off on both sides here and cut the top off almost horizontal and perpendicular to the arm, you can use the original piece and it's welded back in here. So this 1/4 inch piece was on the outside, which took up the gap from the original hub That was a standard wheel bearing style. So now I've gained this much clearance behind the end of the spindle. Now I can use the new hub assembly, which is down here in a box, which are all these parts that I've already made. And now I can put this hub on, and it fit exactly onto the spindle with all the threads protruding to tighten it properly. So I've gained a little bit of space between the back and the arm and here. So I'm going to have to add one more washer to even it up so I don't hit the arm right here when it turns. So that would be a harder fix because of welding, but this makes more sense because you need this for strength on the actual spindle, because the weight of the tractor will actually bend this 3/4 inch shaft at some point, so you'd want more strength. So unfortunately I only did this one the right way this time. The other side I ended up cutting this whole entire piece in pieces to get it off, and I'll just get a new piece of metal this weekend, and that'll be that. So that'll conclude the 812 hub upgrade. Thank you for watching.